Well, I was in Sheffield at the time, and I think what happened really is, in retrospect, that I was studying in Sheffield landscape architecture, and I walked past sort of this bookshop where they sold incense and all sorts of things, and I sort of walked back again because I saw this picture on the door, and it was of a lady with long hair, and I just sort of read what was underneath. To this day I can't remember what it was, but I saw the picture, I thought, and then I just walked on. I forgot all about it. But before that, I would never be someone who was looking, reading anything that I sort of was unusual or doing anything like that. And I come from a very sort of Christian background and everything. And but I think after that incident of seeing Mother's picture, which it was, that I started reading things and allowing myself to sort of seek, and even to sort of go back and read the Bible as though I was just sort of reading it for my own sake rather than sort of anything else. And then I came across a book which was by Gurdjieff, who's someone I'd never heard of, didn't know anything about, but inside it said, you need a guru somewhere. So I thought, oh my God, yes, I need a guru. That's what I need, a guru. And so I was looking, and I started going back to church because I stopped doing that, going to the Baha'is because my brother was trying that. And finally somebody in the house that I was living in said, oh, we've gone to this thing, you'd be good at that. You're looking around, you're asking questions, you come to this. So we went to this just a program in Sheffield. Ray Harris was talking, and he was talking about evolution and everything. I thought, oh, this is interesting. Then they put this tape of Mother on, and Mother started talking about, and God made this beautiful world, and he just put rivers here and trees there and mountains here just to make it beautiful. And I thought, that was interesting, because I was studying landscape architecture and trying to design things and everything. I thought, well, that sounds good. And then I was worked on, I think it was John Glover and Graham's wife, Gail Pottinger, and they worked on me and asking me, what are you feeling? Are you feeling the cool breeze on your hands or on your head? And I couldn't feel anything out of the top of my head, and then I started to cry, because I was in an emotional place at that time, and then they said, but can you feel anything else? I said, yes, I can feel this cool coming down on my knees. That's good, they said. So I thought, good. And then I went home, and and they asked me, why do you think we're here? Ray said, oh yes, why do you think we're here? I said, we're here to enjoy, because strangely enough, before I'd come to the program, I had been sitting sort of under a tree somewhere, sort of thinking, why are we here? And this thought had come into my head, from somewhere. We're here to enjoy. And I was so not enjoying myself at that time, and I thought, this is very strange, And then Ray asked me, and he said, yes, that's what we're here to enjoy. And there was Mother's photograph, and it was a puja photo actually at the meeting, and I kept saying to John Glover, yes, but who is this lady? Because I felt that coming from Christian background, an icon is not it's a photo, and you're all sort of saying, who is this lady? Okay, so I kept wanting to know, who is this lady? And eventually, in a few months' time, I think it was in the summer that I came to the program in Sheffield. I think it was maybe 3 months or 2 months later, we all went down to a puja in Chelsham Road, and Mother was there sitting next to the fireplace, and I was sort of almost at the back, and it was, I was sort of sitting like this, and there were a million people around it. It was very tight, and just looking at Mother and saying, Mother, who are you? Who are you? And coming back home and sort of looking at Mother's photograph again and thinking, well, I know who you are. And then going again to the next puja, we went down to the next puja, and again, Mother's the first puja I went to Mother's feet when she asked for new people to come, and she said, what are you doing? What are you doing? Your liver's so bad. I said, architecture or landscape architecture. And she told us to say, Mother, you're the architect of all architects. You know, you say that 3 times and suddenly you feel it's all sort of cleared out. And after the second puja, so I asked her about the Baha'is, and she said, well, you know, they do drink and smoke. And I thought, that's an interesting answer. And I knew that because my brother couldn't give up smoking, he was a Baha'i. And then coming back from that puja, then I just felt, well, I just love you. And that was really it for me. And I think later on then I went to a meeting at somebody's house, and Mrs. Harris, Ray's mum, was there, bless her, and there was this big photo of Mother with the blue sari, and people were asking, people were talking about Shri Mataji, and Mrs. Harris just sat there. She said, well, you know that they do say she might be the Virgin Mary. And I sort of thought, yes, I sort of took this on board and sort of thought, yes, this wow, this is a possibility. And I think just that was it, really. Interesting, because one of my first times going to the airport to see Mother before I was married, and being close to Mother, we were holding bits of Mother's luggage, and Mother suddenly turned to me and she said, what were you doing going there to my house and doing namaskar on the pavement? And Mother had just recently given a talk about not saying but Mother, so Carol thought to herself, don't say but Mother. So, and also Carol was thinking, but Mother, inside I think, Mother, you are the God, you're divine, you know everything, you know I didn't do this. And I just said to Mother, I don't know, Mother, because I couldn't think of anything else to say which wouldn't start but Mother. So I just stood there and I said, and just turned away and talked to somebody else. And years later, I think Louis can tell the rest of the story.
Years later I went to see Mother, and Mother said, yes, your wife is very sensible, such a decent, good lady, you should listen to her a lot more, you know. Except I can't understand why she did that, you know. Going to the namaskar there on the floor to that house where I used to live many years ago. That is so unlike her. But Mother, it wasn't her. It was someone else. What? And you didn't tell me? All these years, you know, I've been very confused because this doesn't go with her personality. You should have told me, you know. Well, we thought, Mother, that you, because of who you are, you know everything. Well, you have to tell me, you see. Mother said, these things you have to tell me, you know. It is confusing for the brain, yes. But there you are. Mother has a memory, she knows as well, and our character and personality and the